American Presidents, George Washington. Written by Rebecca Pettiford. Who was George Washington? George Washington was the first president of the United States. George was one of the founding fathers. He served from 1789 to 1797. In the image, you can see George with the other founding fathers. George was born on a Virginia farm in 1732. His father died when he was 11. In the image, you can see George with his father. George took care of a small family farm. George's hometown is Pope's Creek, Virginia. George learned with tutors. In 1749, he became a surveyor. His presidential picks. His animal of choice were dogs and horses. His hobbies, dancing and reading. His sport, fox hunting, and his food are hoe cakes. He fought in the French and Indian War in 1754. He learned a lot about leadership. In 1758, George began working in the Virginia government. The Revolutionary War began in 1775. George led the army. He helped the U.S. win. Question: what helped George become a strong leader? The answer: George in the Revolutionary War. Time in office. The war ended in 1783. The U.S. was now a new country, but it needed a leader. In 1789, George was elected president. His presidential profile: place of birth, Pope's Creek, Virginia. Schooling, tutors. Party, none. Vice President, John Adams. His birthday, February 22nd, 1732. His term, 1789 to 1797. See below an image of his signature. In 1790, George chose the location of the U.S. capital city. It is now called Washington, D.C. This is the U.S. Capitol building. He also helped form the National Bank. The image above is the first National Bank building at Independence Hall. In 1791, the Bill of Rights was signed. It helped give people rights. George was reelected in 1792. He won by many votes. Bill of Rights of 1791. This is an image of George after he was reelected. George worked to keep peace at home. He also wanted peace with Britain and France. He hoped a treaty would help. George's timeline. February 4th, 1789, George Washington is elected the first U.S. president. February 25th, 1791, George helps form the National Bank. December 15th, 1791, the Bill of Rights is signed. December 1792, George is reelected. August 1795, George signs the Jay Treaty. March 4th, 1797, George leaves office. What George left behind. George left office in 1797. He wanted to give other people a chance to lead. He passed away in 1799. His leadership helped create the U.S. This is an image of the Washington Monument.